Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you decide to watch this episode. This is Chef D Night of Date Night Catering with another episode of Funk Up the Flavor. So before I get into today's episode, you guys know that I love to entertain you. So it's February the 14th. It is going down. It's going to be Finale Wine and Desserts plus Date Night Catering presents A Lover's Kind of Night. So what exactly is a Lover's Kind of Night? So a Lover's Kind of Night is when you're going to get unlimited wine. You're also going to get the food done by yours truly. So we're going to have a charcuterie board that's going to feature herb cheese dip, my homemade beef summer sausage. Also, I'm going to have my own my damn delicious deviled eggs on the charcuterie board as well, with some homemade pickles. Then we're going to get into the Mediterranean salad. We're also going to have a roasted gazpacho soup, chicken paella, vegetarian paella, and for dessert, we're going to do a warm bread pudding with a Jack Daniel's cream sauce and a strawberry rosé puree sauce. It is going to be mwah. So, on today's episode of Funk Up the Flavor, we're going to do a buttermilk biscuit with a poached egg, Hollandaise sauce, and smoked salmon. Why? Because I just felt like doing like a really cool, funky, edgy brunch today. So I would really love for you guys to come back in just a few moments, and I'm going to show you how to put the buttermilk biscuits together. Then right after that, we're going to make the Hollandaise sauce. And then after the Hollandaise sauce, we're going to make the poached egg, and then I'll put it all together for you and show you exactly what this thing is going to look like. So hopefully I'll see you back here shortly. Family, welcome back. So we're going to start out with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Make sure it is all-purpose flour. So all you need is a nice mixing bowl and a whisk for now. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, what's going to go in the flour is going to be all of our dry ingredients. So what are our dry ingredients? So happy that you asked. So we have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I use kosher salt. I just like it. It's actually Morton's coarse kosher salt. So I'll show you all of the things that I use too as I go through them. So we got the kosher salt that I use. This is the baking powder brand that I use. And for my baking powder, I use Arm & Hammer. So I use it for more than just cooking. This is great for cleaning. If you're old school like me, brush your teeth with it every once in a while. All right, so all of our dry ingredients: 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, right? So we're gonna add all of that to our all-purpose flour. Please use all-purpose flour, not self-rising flour. It will mess up the recipe. And I also want to let you guys know, I have never made buttermilk biscuits. This is my first time making these. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can show you guys how easy it is to really cook. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, all right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna whisk all of this together. Don't use a fork, don't use a spoon, use a whisk. Why do you want to use a whisk? Even though I've never cooked buttermilk biscuits, I have baked before, right? So the whisk aerates everything. This is kind of like your sifting. So most people are not going to take the time to sift it. So all you want to do is just really whisk it together and get the aeration in there. Makes it nice and fluffy. All right. So next move is going to be 7 tablespoons of unsalted butter. So I've cubed and cut up this butter, and after I cubed it and cut it up, I then put it in this little plastic container, and then I put it in the freezer for about 5 minutes just so it can get really cold. All right, so you want cold butter. Do not use room temperature or warm butter. Why? Because you will not get a flaky biscuit. So just trust the recipe, trust the process. I'm telling you. That was my Mr. T moment right there for you. All right, so what you want to do is get you a pastry cutter, right? So it's going to look like this little wire looking dilly right here, pastry cutter. So you take your pastry cutter and you cut your flour and butter together. Now, if you don't have a pastry cutter or don't want to go invest in a pastry cutter, my granny, she used to use a fork. So a fork will work. Just gonna take a little bit more time. But man, I went to Walmart and they had this was during Black Friday, and they had a baking set on sale for $10. So I bought it, and it came with the whisk, this pastry cutter, measuring cups, a few other baking things. All right. So you're gonna have some flour, some butter that gets trapped up in there. Press all that off, scrape it off. You want that in your flour. All right. Man, if y'all hear this music in the background, that's my man Van Hunt. Been listening to the guy for the better part of 10 years now. Really great artist, love his music. All right, so to this, we're gonna take 3/4 cups of cold buttermilk. Make sure your buttermilk is cold, all right? And I didn't get a spatula, so I'm gonna come right back with my spatula so we can stir all this together. And then once I stir it together, I'm also gonna have my countertop flour. And then we're gonna put this on the countertop, flatten it out, cut out our biscuits, bake them up. So I'll be right back. Welcome back, family. So in the bowl, I added the cold buttermilk with the flour butter mixture along with the salt, baking powder, baking soda as well. So we're just gonna mix this until it's really combined. Now listen, these are flaky biscuits, all right? So you do not, I repeat, do not overwork your dough. It should all just kind of come together nice and neat. And then we're gonna get in here with our hands in just a minute to make sure we really got this thing incorporated. Oh yeah, it's coming together real nice. Man, this might look a little dry to you when you're doing it. Just keep folding it. Alright, this is what I mean when I say keep folding it. Just keep folding it. Just like that. See that folding technique? That's what's going to give you your layers. Alright, so this is incorporated pretty good. We're going to go ahead and dump this out on the countertop and really start to work it. Right. I want all my biscuit. Get that off the spatula. Alright, so we're going to work this dough to a nice little mound. Oh, and by the way, I'm still listening to my man Van Hunt. He's got a really cool range on his music. That was actually a little country kind of vibe right there. Y'all can see this is starting to come together. Oh man. Alright, so I'm gonna work this. We don't want to work it too much. Oh, and I'm gonna bake this in a cast iron skillet too, by the way. I will not be using like a baking pan, so to speak. And I will not be using a rolling pin, none of that fancy stuff. Because how many of y'all actually have a rolling pin? Right, that's what I thought. Alright, so when I come back, I'm gonna flatten this out into a nice little rectangle. And we want this about maybe an inch thick. You can see how flaky it is. And I got a little flour on my countertop too. All right. And we're gonna cut these out, nice little round biscuits, and put them in our cast iron skillet. So I'll be right back here, guys, in just a moment to show you what that looks like once we put them in the cast iron skillet. And I pressed this out to be about an inch thick, so we are good to go. Family, welcome back. So what I've done is I've taken my cast iron skillet and I've just sprayed some non-stick spray in the bottom of that just so my biscuits don't stick. Sorry. All right, so what we got right here, I've got a wine glass, right? So I'm gonna use my wine glass. I know it's more than just for drinking wine. We're gonna cut these biscuits out. As we cut them out, see they come out nice and round. Let me see, there you go. Just gonna put them in the cast iron skillet. So all I'm doing right now is cutting out the biscuits. And we're putting them in the cast iron skillet. We wanna put these about maybe 1/4 inch apart. If I gave you my love. All right. Oh man, these things are gonna be awesome. A whole lot of love See, and then what you're gonna be left with, is gonna be left with some more dough, right? After you cut out that first batch of biscuits. I'm gonna sit this right. All right, so just so you can see what we got so far. All right, I'm gonna sit that on my table, out of the way. So you got you some more dough. Do not overwork this. You'll get a tough biscuit, I promise. I know I said I've never cooked biscuits, which I haven't, but it's just something that my granny always told me. Don't overwork the dough. You're gonna get tough biscuits. Look at that. Man, these things are gonna be great. All right, so I'll be right back. Show you what all this looks like put together. And my oven, you gotta bake it, right? So my oven is on 425 and my oven is preheated. So I've had my oven on the entire time we've been doing this video. So it's been on, I don't know, about maybe 15 minutes or so. All right, let's think. So the rest of this will be waste. I'm not even gonna try to form that into a biscuit. All right, so I'll be right back to show you what it all looks like before it goes in the oven. Stay tuned. All right, family, here are the biscuits, all cut, rolled out, ready to go. So these are gonna go into a 425-degree preheated oven for 15 minutes. All right, so we're gonna say goodbye to the biscuits for about 15 minutes. So I'm actually gonna come back and check on them at about the 12-minute mark. All right, so we'll be right back to show you what that looks like. Now, while this is cooking, we're going to make the Hollandaise sauce. So family, welcome back. So we are going to get started on this Hollandaise sauce. So we're going to go ahead and put that together while the biscuits are finishing up. So for a Hollandaise sauce, what do you need? You need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So if you're going to use fresh squeezed lemons, that's going to be half of a lemon. 4 egg yolks and 1/4 cup of butter. Saucepan and a whisk. That's it. Now to this, the way I'm gonna funk this up is I'm gonna add some fresh cracked black pepper at the very end. And so this cracked black pepper is just gonna give it like a nice little flavor. So it is called funk up the flavor. All right, so in the saucepan, I'm gonna add my tablespoon of lemon juice, 4 egg yolks. All right. Now, to separate an egg, you crack it, and then you let the white side drain out, let the whites drain out, then in your shell, you'll be left with the egg yolk. So if you are cooking at home, most people know how to do that. If not, just YouTube it. All right. So we're going to stir these bad boys until all that's incorporated. Now, I've got my stove on low, like literally the lowest setting possible. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna add this butter. Then I'm gonna put this on my stove on the lowest setting possible. All right, just so you guys can see what's going on. All right, and then we are going to continue to stir this until the butter melts. And this is all you want to do, and you will have made a Hollandaise sauce. Now, you do not need to go any higher than low. If you do, your eggs are gonna curdle. If you start to noticing your eggs curdling or cooking, just add 1 teaspoon of water at a time. Remove it from the heat and vigorously stir with your whisk. All right, so I'm gonna come back, show you guys what this Hollandaise sauce looks like once it's completed. So as you can see, it doesn't take butter long to melt. So this is literally almost done. So to this, I'm gonna add my fresh cracked black pepper. Ignore my whisk, I need a new one. So we're gonna put about a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper in our Hollandaise sauce. I wanted to have a little kick. All right, so this is complete. So I'm gonna remove this from the heat And then the very next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to poach an egg, and then we're gonna put this whole thing together. Welcome back, family. So we are about to poach an egg. So yes, I do have some eggs here, and the reason I have the whole egg is, you see that little EB? That is Eggland's Best, all right? So I went and got the free-range Eggland's Best egg. If I am going to eat an egg, it is going to taste good. So make sure you get a quality egg. You don't want to just buy any old egg to make a poached egg with. Get a good egg, all right? So I've cracked one egg into my little bowl here, and now in this pot, we've got about 8 cups of boiling water and about a 1/4 cup of white vinegar. The vinegar is the secret to a perfectly poached egg. So I brought this up to a vigorous boil, right? And then I put it down on simmer. So I went from high to about 4 on my temperature there on my stove, right? So I'm gonna take the spoon out real quick. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you guys know you could do that with your spoon? Just sit it on the handle and rest it there, right? I know. Saw that on a show one day. All right, so here we go. We're gonna take the egg and we're gonna gently pour it in there. All right. And so the vinegar is what's gonna cause that bad boy to kind of coagulate and get all poached for us. And we want this to sit in there for about 4 minutes, right? And just gently stir it. Like, this is not vigorous. This is really, really smooth. Very smooth. Some people like to just drop them in and leave them. Don't touch them. But I'm personally like to just move it around a little. Now what I've already done too is when I take this egg out, got my I'm just gonna put it on top of my biscuit. And make sure you have a slotted spoon so you can drain all the water. All right, so this is about halfway done. So when it's time to pull this bad boy out, I'll come back and show you guys what that looks like. All right, it is go time. See if we can get this bad boy out of here without break. Oh, look at that. Perfectly poached egg. You can, once I put it on my biscuit, I'll show you what we got here. Really cool, man. So on my biscuit, I put a slice of smoked salmon. Normally I just show you guys what it looks like at the end, but I'm kind of building this whole thing so I can show you from beginning to end. All right, so now I'm gonna put that poached egg right on top of the salmon. Well, I'm gonna come back and show you what it looks like on top of the salmon. And then we'll put the whole dish together and I'll show you what we got. And of course, I'm gonna show you what it tastes like. Family, welcome back. So here's the taste test, all right? So we've got an egg Benedict with smoked salmon on a homemade buttermilk biscuit with the Hollandaise sauce. So here is our eggs Benedict. Man, it looks so delicious. Like, let's just see this side right here. Check it out. I mean, just look how pretty that thing looks. Seriously. All right, so what I did is I topped it with some fresh chopped chives. You know, the onion flavor, I'm telling you, I got a feeling it's gonna be like awesome. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I want y'all to see me cut into it so you can see the egg yolk, you know. All right. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Oh, look at that egg yolk. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. If you don't like egg yolks, this is not the dish for you. The smoked salmon on this, man, it's not missing a beat. Oh, this is a screwdriver, by the way. I didn't have any champagne, or I would have made a mimosa. But listen, that was awesome. The biscuit, nice texture. You know, a good biscuit's gonna have like a nice little crusting on the outside. So it had the nice crusting, soft middle, flaky, flavorful. The salmon add the perfect note of saltiness to it. And you get the creaminess of the egg. Then the Hollandaise sauce just adds like this richness to it. And the onion flavor from the chives sets it off the top. So listen, two things I want to leave you with. Number one, go to eventbrite.com, search for Finale, right? So Finale Wine and Desserts, as I told you earlier, along with Date Night Catering, we're hosting an event, a Lovers Kind of Night on February 14th. So go to eventbrite.com, search for Finale, and get your tickets. Second thing I want to leave you with, love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. If you're telling someone else that, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, and you aren't telling yourself that, or you don't believe that you love yourself as much, if not more, then your love is not for real. Because how can you love someone when you don't love yourself? It's impossible. So love yourself, man. Understand how to look in the mirror and tell yourself at least every day, I love you. So folks, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Funk Up the Flavor with Chef D Night of Date Night Catering. So from my heart to your kitchen, thank you again.